Hey, Yellow Rules here, and welcome back to Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. So last time, Tenko died, and I don't understand how. Like, yeah, the floorboard has been pulled back, indicating or suggesting that somebody used the holes in the floor, because I was mentioned that there was a hole near Himiko for her to not fall in it. But she was stabbed in the back of the neck. That's the part that has me tripped up. I don't understand what happened. So let's look at Tenko's body a little bit. Well, first of all, there's the rock that was used. Give me the stone marker. Thank you. Now, there's a rock next to Tenko's body. This must be... Please rest your forehead upon the stone marker I've placed here. It's just a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it'll work? Certainly. It is merely needed as a marker for her forehead to rest upon. Like this? Tenko had her forehead on this rock hunched over. She had to make herself small to fit inside the cage. Okay. So, kind of making connections back to Danganronpa 2 with the first game, the person had a marker on the ground, but in that case it was light up goo that they would be able to see from underneath the floorboards. I don't understand... Yeah, I don't understand this. Ah, this floorboard is loose. And it's the one right under Tenko. Why is this floorboard loose? It wasn't like this before. It must have come loose during the seance. Why would it come loose during the seance? A floorboard this thick and heavy wouldn't have come loose easily. Then someone must have loosened it on purpose. So somebody planned this. Interesting, but I'm still confused. Tenko's dead body. She took her last breath crouched over like this. According to the Monokuma file, her only injury is a stab wound to her neck. This wound was fatal. This must have caused instant death. I didn't hear a scream during the seance. Oh, wait. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. Would Tenko really keep her mouth shut despite the pain? Nope. Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out. What do you mean? You were concerned about that, right? Okay. With a wound this deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die. You're speaking from experience? Of course. Quick deaths are my specialty. Well then, that makes sense. The real question is, what was she killed with? I don't see a murder weapon around. Yeah, that is a question. You're right. I don't see an obvious murder weapon. That could be a clue. Tenko's last moments have been added to the truth-blood section. Okay. Iron cage. This is the cage used during the seance. It has blood on the top of it. It looks to be around 3 feet high and 3 feet wide. It's a pretty large iron cage. Okay. Big enough for a person to fit inside. During the seance, Kokichi and I covered Tenko with the cage. We were supposed to remove it as well, but it was Himiko who rushed in and removed the cage first. Hey, look at this. A blood stain on the bottom of the cage. Probably Tenko's blood, yeah? Yes, I imagine so. The splatter must have been made when she was killed. Which means Tenko was killed while she was inside the cage. We had to confirm that? Okay. I think you're right. Tenko went under the cage before the seance. But when the cage was lifted after the seance, she was already dead. If she was stabbed right when the cage was lifted, that would explain this bloodstain, right? Perhaps she wasn't killed during the seance, but the exact moment the cage was lifted? And that is a possibility. Wait. Oh, I get it. Oh, wait. I think? I'm very confused. So, are they implying that the murder weapon was stuck in the iron cage, so... Or was it on the sheet, maybe? But I feel like we would have seen that. I'm very confused. I don't understand what's going on. It's the white sheet we used for the seance. This was placed on top of the cage. Kyo was the one who removed it. This cloth is pretty thick. It's similar to a window curtain, but it's completely opaque, and on the back. Look, there's a bloodstain on it, right around the middle of the sheet. But there's no hole in the fabric, which means Tenko wasn't stabbed through this cloth.
Okay.
She was stabbed while underneath the cloth. Oh, wait. From hanging out with Kyo, we found out that he has some sort of like invisibility trick type of thing where he can eat without having to remove his mask. What if he did something similar with the murder weapon? Like he placed it on the sheet using that invisible magic voodoo whatever, and when he put the sheet on top of the cage, it stabbed Tenko in the back of the neck. Wait, so does that mean Kyo's the culprit? This case is making my head hurt. Dog statue. It's the wooden dog statue used in the seance. I believe it's called the Dog God. During the seance, this wooden statue was on top of the cage. It took 4 of us to remove it. This wooden statue is pretty heavy. Kyo said it was about 175 pounds. That's about the weight of 2 girls. What do you know about girls? Have you even touched a woman besides your mother? What? I'm kidding, anyway. If this heavy thing was on top of the cage, then Tenko wouldn't have been able to get out easily. Yeah, you're right about that. That sounded like you were... That didn't sound like you were kidding earlier. Yeah, she doesn't know how to kid, or at least sound convincing. I wonder, going with the thought that I had that Kyo's the one who's the culprit, is that why he didn't want Kibo in the seance room? Because remember, Kibo has the ability to record stuff that he hears. And that would have been useful for this, also reference to the other games, but they're trying to break that mold. Too bad they can't, because I keep thinking of the other games while I'm doing this. Why? Why did this?
I knew it.
Kyo, I know the murder was pretty shocking. He wanted to do the seance and for it to be perfect. He's upset over that.
But of course.
Of course, I am shocked about that as well. But why did the seance fail? We performed all of the steps flawlessly. He seemed more concerned by that than the murder.
Yes.
Oh, if we performed the caged child again and summoned Tenko's spirit this time, we're not doing this again. No.
This is stupid.
Cut the crap. Just tell me what happened during the seance. Wait. If it failed, does that mean somebody who was supposed to be standing in the corner moved during it? Both you and Suichi were present, right? Did she get killed during the seance? The lights were off, or the candles were out.
I see.
True. It may be best to move past what happened to know why the seance failed. Whatever, just hurry up. At the time, in order to begin the seance, we had Tenko, the spiritual medium, position herself as a turtle within the magic circle so that her head touched the marker stone. Then Suichi and Kokichi placed the cage over Tenko. After that, I placed the white cloth over the cage. Then all 4 of us placed the wooden statue of the dog god atop the cage. Afterwards, we stood in the 4 corners of the room. Kokichi and Suichi blew out the candles. Finally, we all sang the caged child song. The seance should have been complete, but... now that you mention it, I remember hearing a strange sound during the song. Yeah, that. It is a mystery to me as well. I thought someone may have tripped, perhaps. That was a pretty loud sound for someone tripping. Perhaps Kyo knows something.
What do you mean?
And then what happened?
Yes.
We called out to her, but no reply came. I had Suichi and Kokichi relight the candles. And then we removed all the items from within the magic circle in the opposite order. First, all four of us removed the dog god statue. Then I took off the white cloth, and then... Himiko ran over to the cage, and the moment she lifted it... Then it sounds like Tenko was definitely killed during the seance.
No.
But would it not be difficult in such darkness? Besides, she was inside the cage, yes. Then when was she killed?
Well, that's...
Yes, that is a problem.
I see.
There is another problem. And that is, why ever did the seance fail? I simply cannot figure it out. Perhaps someone moved from their corner? Did someone else sneak in here?
What's the
Obviously, since this seance was clearly a sham. Maki was never one to pull her punches. Okay, sound during seance has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Let's talk to Kibo, I guess.
Leave it to me.
Leave it to me. I will become the guiding light that shines on you all. By the way, nice reference to a line of dialogue from Nagito from the second game when he said, I will be the guiding light that will be the light that guides you all, or something along those lines. Oh, ruined magic circle. I should probably make a note of that. This magic circle Kyo drew on the floor, well, at least it was. It's been completely stomped over. I suppose it was unavoidable.
Well...
Was this drawn with salt? Whenever I perform a seance, I always use salt.
What?
Are you feeling alright? You sound ridiculous. Ridiculous? I have performed many successful seances. Why, I even had spirits enter my body. Shut up. I don't want to hear about your stupid delusions. Maki really doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
But...
In any case, with all these footprints, I can't make out the original circle.
So what?
We'll find out in Kyo's lab. It should be written in the Caged Dog Village document. Isn't that right, Kyo? He seems depressed. I suppose that makes sense. Magic circle Korikyo drew. Hole in the corner. That's what I'm looking for. There we are. There's a small opening in the corner of the room. It doesn't look big enough for a person to get through, but still.
Is this...
A hole? Looks like there's space under here, too. Oh, hold on. I can see something below. It looks like something dropped down there.
Huh?
What? Something dropped down there? Was something dropped from here? Hole in the corner has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad.
Hey.
After we check everything everywhere else, why don't we go under the floor and see for ourselves?
You're
Right, let's do it.
By the way...
It seems pretty dark down there. What should we use for light?
That's true.
Let's bring a candle. With Kibo's light from up here, that should be fine.
Okay.
Then I'll go get a candle. Remove that floorboard so we can go down.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Hey, just like when Gundam went underneath the floorboards to retrieve his earring. I pulled off some of the floorboards near the hole and took the candle from Maki. Then we carefully made our way through the hole and under the floor. Ooh. This is a lot more spacious than I thought. You can move pretty easily on all fours.
Okay.
Let's look around for clues.
Well...
It'd look pretty stupid if we found no clues after crawling around in this dusty place. Yeah. Well, I already see something to look at. Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards. Fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. Cut crosspiece. Oh look, part of the crosspiece that supports the floorboard is cut off.
That's true.
It's near the loose floorboard, and the portion missing is about the same width, too. And from what I can see of it,
That's true.
it wasn't broken off naturally. This was cut by someone. There should be saws in the warehouse, so they could have used that. The question is why? Another crosspiece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not fall if this portion is missing.
Then,
So what purpose did this serve? The floorboard underneath Tenko's body is loose, and the crosspiece supporting it has been cut. The culprit did all of this, and why? Dried blood. There's a blood stain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. But that's pretty far from where Tenko's blood is dripping down. It's under the same floorboard, just at different ends. Why is there blood here?
hey,
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood on it too.
Ah,
You're right, there's a little bit of blood on the underside of this floorboard. Excuse me for a second. You're right, there's a little bit of blood on the underside of this floorboard.
what do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood splatter here when she got killed?
that's
I
true.
wonder. I can't really be sure yet.
Okay.
But these bloodstains here are completely dry. There must be some reason these particular stains are dry. Huh. Interesting, but I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Ooh, hello, murder weapon. There's a sickle here, and there's blood all over it.
Okay.
The blood on the sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon. But why this?
Is this?
This came from my research lab.
Huh?
It did?
Well,
A sickle can be used to assassinate a target. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes, too.
Well,
If she was attacked with this, she wouldn't stand a chance. The blade is about 6 inches.
that's right.
And since Tenko was in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself.
but
But even if this is our murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko in the cage? The blade could fit through the gap in the cage, but could it reach her neck?
That's true.
The cage is 3 feet high. If you were to stab into it with a 6-inch blade, well, it would depend on Tenko's posture, but I don't think it's impossible. Then her posture is the question.
Hey,
Hey, if the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
that's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle under the floor in the dark? Or they could have been under the floor the entire time. Either of those is possible. Okay. Anything else? Some of the wood has corroded and is broken off so you can see into the next room.
hey,
This is the wall of the empty room, right? Looks like there's wood along the wall. This part is rotted away. Looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally. But I can get into the next room through here.
that's
If I
true.
remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? And the culprit could have gone from room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway.
No.
True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did alright because we had a light. Without that, it'd be pitch black. That might make it impossible to move around in there.
Nope.
Then they could have used a light like we're doing right now.
Well,
True. They use a light to move around under the floor? Is that possible? I think we finished investigating here.
is that all right?
Maki, you want to head back up? Glad you asked. I was starting to get fed up with all this dust. Okay, so the person went to an adjacent room, navigated under the floorboards, and killed Tenko. Also, reference to the first games. Not the first game, the second game in the series, The First Trial. After Maki and I crawled out from under the floorboard, we put the floorboards back and returned to our investigation.
By the way,
We've only been investigating this room. You sure that's wise?
Huh?
What do you mean?
because
If Angie and Tenko have different killers, then the blackened we need to vote for is
You're right.
the culprit for the first murder, the culprit who killed Angie. That's what Monokuma said.
then
So instead of investigating Tenko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Angie's? Yes,
okay.
of course.
But
But this is bigger than the killing game, for the sake of those two who died. I need to reveal the truth of both their deaths. Well, I understand why you feel that way. But if you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, we should probably hurry. Yeah. So I do want to leave because I want to do a couple of things, actually. When I came to the hallway, a scene more surprising than I could ever imagine unfolding. What's going on? Are you... Okay. Really?
it's a lie.
Oh, God. Really? Really? You gotta be kidding me. Did I surprise you? Were you gonna scream and cry in terror?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Oh?
Sorry, I'm just a little lightheaded from the blood loss. Yeah, this is real blood.
Why?
Okay, so what are you doing? I got curious about something, so I decided to search the empty room next door. Then suddenly, I stepped through the floorboard.
Huh?
You stepped through a floorboard? Jeez, that got me good. Because of this, I tripped and fell pretty hard. Ah,
got a minute?
if you're going to lose consciousness, do it after you tell us everything. Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess there's no cross D supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck. The crosspiece was gone? Does that mean... Oh, the dried blood was from
Huh?
Kokichi, I guess? Oh, and we're done? Wait, we're done.
Confidence. Dreams. That's what the killing game is all about. Killing game fans, hold your head high and watch with your own two eyes. Baseball, soccer, mobile games, they're all nothing compared to the killing game. The killing game just can't be beat. Behold, students, the entrance to the trial grounds.
I guess time's up. But,
Oh.
oh man, it's because of you guys. I didn't have enough time to check something.
Huh?
What were you trying to check?
See,
I wanted to research the seance again, so I brought this document with me. Thank you for having that. But unfortunately, I didn't find anything new that could be used as a clue. Kyo perfectly reenacted the seance as what was written in the document. He drew his magic circles the exact same way as it is in the picture. Not only that, he used the same exact tools too. Nothing suspicious about this whole thing. Well, I wanted to check the finer details, but I'll tell you about it later. The class trial, so see you there. If you can actually participate in it. Kokichi laughed, the blood loss clearly affecting his footing a bit. Bloody Kokichi has been added. Okay. Let's go too.
That's true.
Yeah, okay. Is Maki nervous? I see, so even she gets nervous sometimes.
Do you want to die?
What are you staring at? Do you want to die? Okay, and we'll proceed to the trial grounds in the next episode. Okay, well, I'm still confused. I have an idea of who could be the culprit, but at the same time, I feel like it'd be weird if they were the culprit. But we'll figure that out at the trial. If you guys enjoyed this episode, give it a like. Also be sure to like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter, as well as support my Patreon, and check out my reaction channel. All those links will be in the description below. And subscribe for more. If you are subscribed or a new subscriber right now, be sure to hit that bell icon so you get notified of when I upload videos. This is Viola Rules, signing off. Talk to you later.